Hello, Peter.
Hi, Kath.
When was your first league match and where did it take place?
My first league match was the 13th of February 1965 at Reading, and it was quite a thing for me. I never thought that I'd ever be a professional footballer, and actually going and playing down in the South England at Reading was just a dream come true for me. And it was such a game that I was that wound up. I can remember going for a corner, and I'm sure I jumped higher than the bar going for this ball. I was that wound up for the game, and it was obviously it was a dream come true.
When did you first encounter racism?
It was playing against Queen's Park Rangers, and it was my first game in London. I think it was my 8th game for Workington, and the film Zulu had been out a matter of months, and as we were kicking in those days in football you had maybe 5 minutes warm up before the game, not like it is now, and my manager Keith Birkenshot, his wisdom, said to me, just warm up beside the touchline, don't actually just shoot the ball into the goalkeeper and mess about there. Anyway, somebody must have been to see the film Zulu and thought, gosh, because I was the only black player on the field, so every time I touched the ball, the 4,000 and odd QPR supporters that were there all shouted Zulu, and it was, the effect was getting to me that much that I went to take a throw in, and this young lad shouted Zulu at me, and I responded in a broad Scottish accent, and he couldn't understand a word I said. And I thought, oh, well done, Peter. But I thought, why, that's good. So it was a case I'd never ever been called anything different than Wee Peter. I was small at school, and I still get called Wee Peter when I go back up to Edinburgh. So it was quite a feeling hearing, like when you're playing under lights, and yeah, there's four, maybe 5,000 people at the game. Because you can't see them so much, it seems a vast, more amount of people, and every time you're touching the ball, hearing the shout Zulu going on, it was very, very upsetting. So much so, at the start of the next season, our first match was to play Millwall at the Den. Well, Millwall had the worst crowd of supporters that one would ever fear to meet. So much so that on the Wednesday prior to the game at training, I got this terrible injury. No, I couldn't move, and I didn't go. The thing is, there was nothing wrong with me. I was just scared. I was too scared to go, because I thought, if that's what we're shouting at QPR, what is it going to be like at Millwall? So Saturday came, team had gone, I'm still walking about Workington, nothing wrong with me. And I thought, not only have you let yourself down, you've let the team down, and you've also let people win because you think you're scared to go because there's people going to shout in you about your colour. And I vowed for that day that nobody would ever stop me doing what I wanted to do, and the colour of my skin, they could call me worse than muck, and it wasn't going to have any effect on me in a negative way. If they wanted to do that, they were going to raise my game more times than they would think. And that was the first time that I really thought, right, I'm going to be involved in race equality things. they're not going to beat me just because they want to shout names at me. And that was probably the start of how I got involved in things like race equality.
When was the first mention of black British footballers?
Well, it came in 1998, and I got a phone call from a reporter and saying, I believe you're getting an invite to attend the pioneer of black British footballers. Not that I don't know anything about it. He says, well, get it from me, because I've been speaking to the person who's organising it, that you're going to be one of the key players that's asked. And so that's good. So anyway, when I went, and at that time I was involved with the GMB union. I was actually the main player in race equality, and so told them, and I honestly thought, is this a wind-up? Because I thought they were somebody new ex-player will wind them up to say that. Anyway, it wasn't, and I went to Birmingham with the wife, and it was a great thing. And when I played, I never played against another black player. So for to be asked to this, it was great. And I was, obviously there was then quite a few black players playing in English football and were sort of well known, but it was great for them to come up to me and thank me for being strong enough to carry on, because if I never played against another black player in the 6 seasons I played league football. When I played non-league football, I never played against any of the black players. But in one of the clubs I went to, Morecambe, there was a lad, Charlie Lee, and he was black. So we were the two, and there was a famous pair that played for Tottenham, Best and Coker, Clyde Best and Ada Coker. So that was what the Morecambe fans nicknamed us. We were the Clyde Best and Ada Coker of Morecambe. So just to be at that, all the black players that were playing at that day there, and big names, internationals, and it was great for actually them to actually come and be the ones wanting to speak to me, and it was probably one of the best evenings that I've had through football, because it was footballers coming and thanking me for being one of the early players that was brave enough to carry on.
And what would you say was your greatest achievement?
I think my greatest achievement was going to Buckingham Palace and getting an MBE for the work that I was doing in racism and the things that I was going around schools and speaking to children and making them aware of what racism is, and just to treat people as they should be treated, and not just because somebody's a different colour or speaks a different language from a different country doesn't make them any different. It doesn't make them a bad person. You treat people as they treat you, and regardless of colour or creed. It's just being respectful to people. And if you treat people well, they'll treat you back well. And it's a thing that I think all children should appreciate, that when you have friends at school, think a lot of them, because if you don't have any friends, it's a very lonely place.
Thank you, Peter.